What do you get when you mix the star of Stranger Things with the face of Guardians of the Galaxy, a nostalgic 90s sci-fi aesthetic, and a whopping $320 million budget? Apparently, a critical disaster. Yep, The Electric State was supposed to be Netflix's next big hit, a visual, emotional, and nostalgic roller coaster. But instead, it's quickly become one of the most talked about flops of 2025. So, what went wrong? How did a film directed by the legendary Russo Brothers, the minds behind Infinity War and Endgame, end up at the bottom of Rotten Tomatoes? Is it really that terrible, or is there more to the story than angry critics and bad headlines? Let's break it down, because The Electric State isn't just a misfire. It's a reflection of where streaming cinema is heading, how public perception can make or break a movie, and why a cool robot sidekick isn't always enough to save the day. And here's the twist. While critics have absolutely torched it, audiences are a bit more divided. Some say it's a misunderstood gem, others, a multi-million-dollar mess. One thing's for sure, this film is a conversation starter, and we're diving headfirst into it. The expectations for The Electric State were sky high, and honestly, who could blame anyone? This wasn't just some random Netflix drop, it had the Russo brothers at the helm, the very same directors who gave us some of the most iconic Marvel moments ever. From The Winter Soldier to Infinity War and Endgame, their track record was nearly flawless. Add to that a star-studded cast, Millie Bobby Brown, fresh off the Stranger Things hype, Chris Pratt doing his usual action hero thing, Stanley Tucci, Giancarlo Esposito, and even Ke Huy Quan. Combine that with a beloved illustrated novel from Simon Stollenhag and a retro-futuristic world drenched in 90s nostalgia, the pieces were all there. The budget? A jaw-dropping $320 million. That's more than The Irishman, Red Notice, and The Gray Man combined. People were expecting not just a movie, but an event, a cultural moment, something that would blend emotional storytelling with visual spectacle, and maybe even kick off a new sci-fi franchise. Netflix even positioned it as one of their tentpole releases of the year, betting big on its success. But as we've learned time and time again, hype is a double-edged sword, because the higher the expectations, the harder the fall. And boy, did this one fall hard. So, what exactly caused The Electric State to crash and burn with critics? Let's start with the reviews, and they were brutal. Rotten Tomatoes slapped it with a humiliating score, and critics didn't hold back. Words like soulless, you overstuffed, and tone-deaf were tossed around like confetti at a cinematic funeral. The screenplay, penned by Christopher Marcus and Stephen McFeely, was supposed to carry emotional weight. Instead, it felt like a checklist of tropes: an orphan protagonist, a robot sidekick, a smuggler with a heart of gold, and a corporate villain. The problem wasn't the ideas, it was the execution. The emotional core never landed, and the characters felt more like action figures than actual people. The chemistry? Practically non-existent. Millie Bobby Brown and Chris Pratt, both charismatic in other roles, just didn't click here. Every interaction felt forced, robotic, and not in a good way. Critics also called out Brown's one-note performance, with many arguing she's stuck in a loop of playing the same tough but vulnerable girl in every Netflix project. Visually, it had moments, but for a $320 million movie, audiences expected more. Many effects felt plasticky or just plain weird. And while the retro-futuristic aesthetic had potential, the robot designs leaned more toward uncanny mascot than compelling sci-fi. And let's not ignore the elephant in the room: public perception. Beyond the film's flaws, much of the conversation online shifted to Millie Bobby Brown herself, her red carpet appearance, her evolving public image, and the social media backlash. Whether fair or not, that buzz added fuel to the fire, turning criticism of the movie into something far more personal. All in all, this wasn't just a movie with issues. It became a lightning rod for everything people love to hate about big-budget streaming films. But here's where things get interesting. Not everyone agrees that The Electric State is a complete failure. While critics went nuclear, some audience members saw value in its quirky charm. They appreciated the retro-futuristic vibe, the visual ambition, and the attempt to tackle big themes like human disconnection and AI ethics. It's far from a masterpiece. Sure, but it's also not a total train wreck. Think of it more as a misguided passion project, one that bit off more than it could chew, but still has a few moments worth watching, especially if you're into stylized sci-fi. So, what's the final verdict on The Electric State? If we had to slap a number on it, it's a solid 6 out of 10. Not awful, not amazing, just okay. It's the kind of movie you watch once out of curiosity. Maybe even enjoy a few scenes, but probably never revisit. The highlights? Visually, there are flashes of creativity, the 90s pop culture nods, the atmospheric backdrops, and a few surprisingly emotional moments do land, even if briefly. And if nothing else, the film might inspire people to check out the original illustrated book, which remains a standout in sci-fi art and storytelling. But the flaws? They're hard to ignore. A muddled script, uneven performances, and tonal whiplash make it feel like a missed opportunity. The film tries to be too many things at once, and ends up spreading itself thin. Still, in a world of forgettable blockbusters and endless streaming content, The The electric state at least dares to be weird. And sometimes, weird is worth something. What did you think of the film? Was it a misunderstood gem or a mega budget mistake? Drop your thoughts in the comments. And don't forget to like this video and subscribe for more takes like this.